Okay. I think this should be the final part of book 1. But, so yeah, so Soul goes next door to the bar, back to her job, and talks to Tad, and Tad is just like, you know what, baby, I'm sorry, and I won't cheat on you again. And she like, nigga, why should I believe you? You keep telling me the same shit over and over again, and you keep doing the same shit over and over again. You know what I'm saying? So she look at her phone, and she see that her car note due. So he was like, what I gotta do to make it up to you? She was like, pay my car note. And he was like, how much is your car note? She was like, $1,000. And he was like, your car not even $1,000. She was like, well, with insurance and everything, yes, it is $1,000, and that's what it's gonna take for you to make up with me. So, man, her car note was only $600. But she took the money, and he told her go get some food. He wanted some steak and potatoes and all this stuff. And she like, all right, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna cook, you know. So she goes to the store. When she pull up in the parking lot, this Hummer cuts her off and steals her parking spot. Why the Hummer was waved, y'all? You know it. So she don't know that it was him because she couldn't see the person in the car. She even went in the store, and when she came out, she saw the person driving, but the tent was too dark on the car, and her ass wasn't trying to get shot, so she didn't pull up on the car. So she go home. She cook. She start cooking dinner. She go to take a shower. She get out the shower, and she realized that it's water all over her apartment. So she's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and she gets a knock at the door. Girl, why is Wave? Why is it Wave? He knocking because he's fucking maintenance. And he lives in the apartment underneath her. So the water was dripping down to his apartment. So he comes in and they have words and he fixing everything. So she ended up answering a call from Tad. Well, Tad is telling her, like, I can't make it. Baby, I gotta go get my son. And she was like, just bring your son over here. My baby mama don't trust him being over here, you know, bullshit ass spill. And man, the son is allegedly sick. And he got to go to his baby mama house to watch the son while she go to work. That's his story. And he was sticking to it. So she ended up inviting Wave to stay for dinner. So they ended up having a nice dinner, nice conversation. He found out that she had a degree. She found out that he's an artist and she's an artist too. You know, they had a lot in common. But he still didn't want to fuck with her like that because she talked about his Johnson. And he just wasn't feeling that shit. So, she ended up persuading him otherwise, and they had this passionate night together and everything, and she wake up the next morning and he's gone. He moved out his apartment and everything. Like, when she went downstairs, it was movers and stuff and people fixing up the apartment, and he was gone. So, she was completely fucking annoyed by that. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck the world when it came down to him. Like, she had something for his ass. So, in the meantime, Noxie ends up looking for a job. She ends up getting this job at this business. And when she goes in for the interview, they start asking her personal questions. Man, right when this interview, when she got called for the interview, her dad had gotten in a real bad car accident. And he had been dealing with health issues and stuff. But because he's working so much, he don't have the time to take care of himself. So he ended up with a concussion. He had to stay in the hospital overnight. But she gets the call about this job. She's supposed to make $70,000 a year off of this job, which is something that they really need as a family unit. So when they go in, when she goes in for the interview, they start asking her personal questions about her dating life and all this. And then the lady who interviewed her takes her to meet the boss. The boss is Walker. So, as fate will have it, 30 days after they met the first time and went on the no-name date, she's brought back in the office. And she never gave him her name. So, he didn't know who Noxzema was. He knew her as Tippy. You know? So, they end up going out to lunch. And he told her, he was like, because at this point, him and his brothers want to take over this business. But it's dealing with the Chicago syndicate, right? So, the condition is, in order for the syndicate to take them serious, they have to either start a family or be married. Because Walker and Wave have records. Wynn is the only one that doesn't have a record. Wynn works at a hospital and he works at the morgue, you know what I'm saying? But all of them are like no nonsense type niggas. Like, they will fucking kill you without a second thought, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't think Wynn really had a problem with it. I think it was more so Wave and Walker that had a problem with getting married or starting a family, because that just ain't, Wave definitely, it wasn't his forte. So, they were also raised by their aunt and uncle, because their parents died in a car, in a plane crash when Walker was 8, and Walker is the youngest. Like, Walker is younger than Wave, but Wave is younger than Wynn. And they're stair steps, so people think that they're triplets at times. But so he basically asked Noxie to be in this arranged marriage with him, and she agreed because he really liked her anyway. So it was just like, why not? You know what I'm saying? At least I found somebody I have something in common with, you know. But the deal was that he was going to pay her $1 million hospital bill. He was going to pay off her parents' debts. He ended up getting her mom a job, being a consultant for cheerleaders, which is what she wanted to do in the first place. And he put some money in their bank account, so he set them up real nice. So then when the whole thing was, they had to make everything look real. So they had to do a real engagement. They had to do meeting the families. They had to do the whole thing you would do in a relationship for real. So he took her to go meet his family. Then that's when he finds out that his sister and her are really friends already. You know what I'm saying? Now, the aunt won't feel this. The aunt was just like, well, you're money hungry and you're a whore. You probably came off a pole and you need to go back. Like, she just came for this girl out of no fucking way. Like, for real. She had been eyeballing her the whole night, not knowing that they genuinely liked each other. So Walker won't go in for the shit. Walker went the fuck off on the whole family. Like, she with me, and if you don't fuck with her, then you don't fuck with me, period. Anybody else got a motherfucking problem, speak on it now, because I ain't got to deal with none of y'all motherfuckers. Put them straight in their fucking place. You know what I'm saying? So the next obstacle was dealing with her family. So his daddy won't feel him at all. I mean, her daddy won't feel him at all, because Walker had a tattoo of a gun on his neck. His daddy was ex-military. So one day when he was young, I think he was about 10, he was cleaning his daddy's old army gun. And he shot himself in his neck because it was one in the chamber. So he got the tattoo to represent the gun because his aunt made him get rid of the gun. So to remember his dad, he got the tattoo of the gun. So her dad is judging him off of this tattoo and is like, my daughter don't need to be with no thug. So after all that unfolded, her daddy ended up giving him his blessing. That was only after they played a round of golf, which Walker was terrible at. And the conditions were supposed to be that if he beat him at golf, then he could marry his daughter. If he didn't, then he would walk away. And that's not how it went. The daddy ended up loving the fact that he even was able to stand his ground and even try. You know what I'm saying? So in the process of them meeting each other's families, they decided to go on a double date. So he was going to bring one of his brothers, and she was going to bring Soul. So guess what brother he bought? Wave. So Soul went the fuck off. But come to find out, girl, y'all, Soul is pregnant. She got pregnant on her one night stand with him, and she don't want to tell him that she pregnant. So he got up on stage and sang to her and everything to try to win her over. And it worked. So they started dating. Then Noxie's birthday came up. So when Noxie's birthday came up, Walker decided to throw her a surprise party. And he proposed to her at this surprise party. In the midst of him proposing, shots rang out. He tackled her to the ground, which left Soul standing there because Soul was standing beside her when he was proposing. And Soul ended up getting shot in her abdomen. Wynn thought that Soul was dead, so he was telling everybody that she didn't have no pulse. But Wave was like, you're fucking lying, and held a gun to his brother's head like, you better bring her back to life. And so one of the friends that was there, she was a nurse. So she told him, she was like, I'm going to help you. What do you need? You know what I'm saying? So basically, I do believe he cut something in her throat to allow her airway or something. I'm not a medical person. I don't remember them details and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But he basically ended up bringing her back. And she had a faint pulse. But in the process of all this, Noxie became overwhelmed with emotion. And she went in the house. The waiter that was in the house gave her some water that had drugs in it. And then she was kidnapped. Yeah. So, I'll see y'all